recording or in this class, we will make example about classes. Okay, this chapter is talking about something called class. What's class? So as we said in the recording, we have traditional way of programming, and we have some way called object-oriented programming. Yeah, object-oriented programming is good if you have large programs. Yeah, if you want to use the traditional programming in the large program, at some point things will be so complicated. So that's why in this chapter we'll give you just a small introduction about how the object-oriented programming looks like. But there will be a complete course next semester for you to study this subject. Okay? So let us make example, and in this example we will use class and object. Okay? So let me create a new file. Call it what? Class dot hi class dot CPP, right? If you want to make it coding, as usual, using include IOStream, include string. Okay, what else? Using namespace std using name space std. Okay, so we want to make today we will learn how to create a class. How to create a class? So class is like a new prototype. New data type. So we have data type like integer, double, float, right? How about create a new data type? So I will create a new data type. Let me say player. So in the past you define int x, right? This is variable of type integer. I want to create something like player x or y. So this player is kind of a new prototype. It contains what? Information of a player, right? So I'm choosing this example because of the project. I ask you to use some classes, so you can use a class for a player, for example. How to define a class for a player? You write class player, okay, and then you write the starting and the ending block of the class. So this is how you define class player. At the end you make semicolon. Okay, so with this you define class, but this class is empty. Okay, after this you define int main as usual, return 0. So now you are allowed to write something like a player x. Okay, why? Because you have a class called a player, so you can make variable of type player, or we can call it object of type player. So player is a class, x is object of this class. You can create many objects actually from the same class. We will see, but currently this class is empty, so it's useless, right? Let us design the class. So if you want class player, the class contains of two things: variables and functions. Okay, so what variables, what data can be encapsulated in the player? Name, yes. So every player has a name. What else information belongs to the player? Password. Imagine you want to make login and password for so username and password. What else?
Normal private information.
Yes, you can make address and blah blah blah. This ID. But let's focus on the important things: username, password, and score. Yeah. Let's say every player has a score, right? So I will just choose these variables. Normally, the variable in the class we define them as a private. So we write a private, and under the private we define the three variables that we decide. So the name of type what?
Name one for player one.
The name of type what? String. So string name. The name is string. The password? Huh? Also string. It can be a word, right?
It's not always a word. It has to be alphanumeric. Password is not always a word. The other hand could be numbers.
Yes, but the string you can write numbers in the string. But if I define it integer, the password, it will not be accept like letters, right? So string is more general. And what else? Of type what the score? End. Okay. So I define three variables. So now this like player, this class, like when you define player X, it's like you make a package of three information in one class, right? So this is a package of three information, yeah? So this is how the class is working. So the first part of the class is the variable. Second part is functions. You write functions for this class. Usually the functions are public, so you write public before you write function. So what function? Here you write the prototype of the functions. So inside the class you write the prototype of the function. Usually you have function that give you the variable's value and some function that change the variable values. For example, you want for a variable name you want set name and get name, yeah. So let's start with the get or set. Let's start with set. So set name, I want a function called set name if you want to change the name of the players. If you want to change the password, set password. If you want to change the score, set score. Yeah. So this function
changes the player or the name.
Yes.
Set changes it.
Set, yes, would change the variables values. Yeah. So does set return something, Ahmed?
No.
No. So set, because it's only change set name, and it takes what? String, the new name, right? This is the prototype, the first prototype of set name. What other? You want to make also set password, right? It also takes string. This is, I'm writing the prototype of the function. There is also set score. It's taking what matters? Integer, the new score. Okay. So I finished three sets. But if I don't want to change the password, if I want to know what is the password, you have a function called get, right? So I have to define three gets. Let's start with get name. Does get name return something?
Yes.
What? Yes, return of what type? The value? String. So it return a value of type string. So I have to write string get name. Does it take something?
Yeah, it takes the name.
No, I should not give it something. It returned the name to me, but it will not take something. And now, is this function changing the name or changing any of these variable? If not, then you write constant. This means this is like a constant function which does not change any variable in the class. Okay?
طب لو كان get name لو كان غير constant, does it change?
No, it's just why you write constant. If you want to make sure that no one, when another programmers, for example, want to write get name, if you write constant and he try to change this, he will get error. Because when you define this, you force him not to change. You say this get name, you should not change anything like this, yeah? Okay? So this is string get name, and then I write string get password. Again, does not take something, and it's a constant because it's not changing. And last one matters, and get score. Okay? Score. How many function I have so far? 6. So let me add, you can add more function if you want. Let me add a function called print. This print the information of the player. Should it be a void or return something print? Return what? Print. Ahmad, print return something or it's a void? Return what?
The names.
No. No, it's print the names, not return it. Yes. So print does not return anything. Just so here I write the prototypes of 7 functions. So now I finish the class. So again, the class consists of 2 things, variables and functions. Imagine you want to make a bank account. You make a class account for the bank system, okay? So what variables you will make in the account?
For the user, you will make a name, password.
No, the account, not for the user, for account itself. You make a class for the account. What's variables of the account?
Password.
Password can be.
Email or.
Not email, not account. I mean bank account, حساب bank. Exactly, bank account.
You need a name to تخش على البنك حقك أول ID حقك.
لا, I'm asking about information that belongs to the account itself. Account ID, for example. البالانس حق الاكونت, البرانش, الديت opens. طب ايش الفانكشن that we want to use with this account? Deposit, withdraw, get account ID, set account ID, these things, right? So that's why class, like, you can make many things as a class, but you have to choose which variables and which functions that works with this. Second step, outside the class, I need to implement, to write the details of these functions. So you have to write this. This was just a prototype. So here you write, you should, when you write set name, you should write which class is this. This is belonging to the player class. Set name. And then here you write string, it's, let me call it s, string s. So when you call set name, you want to change the name to be s. Okay, so you write name equals s. Like this, you are changing the name, yeah? So name equal s. When you get s as input for set name, you want to set name to s, you make name equal to s. That's it. This is the implementation of this function. Let me make set password. And then password equal to s. I can call it x, another name, but there is no conflict between s and s because s is local here, s is local here. But if you are confused, I can make it s1, s1, s2, s2, but even without that it works. Okay, so this is the second function. The third function, I want to make set score, and this time it takes int, let me call s3, and you write score equal s3. Okay, so this is how you change the name and the password. And so in the main, here you created x1 رواد صح؟ x1. If you want to change the name of x1, player x1, you write x1 dot set name, and then you write Rawad. Okay, so you are calling the set name of player x1.
So we don't use CN?
No, you can use cn if you would like. Like if you you can make like a string s cout enter the name of the player end line, and then cn s, and here you change it with s. Okay, so it will come here, s will be s1, and will change the name of the player x1 to Rawad, which I mean whatever the user enter, it will be changed to using the method is the function set name. Okay, so I make set. Let's make get. So get name, it's returning string, sorry, it's returning string, and it taking nothing, but you have to write const when you define it, and you have to write its player, it's in the class player. Okay,
After constant, semicolon.
no, I should not make semicolon, but maybe wait. So here you make return what? Return name. So string player get name constant. Let me check why he's not happy. String players constant return. Maybe the previous one. A semicolon is expected. Do we have it a get name? Yes, get name. It's a string and it's constant. Let's see. Let's maybe when you write the other one, this strange problem. This player is wrong. Sorry. Player. Okay. Same like get password constant return password. Yes. String, yes. Easy one. Get score, it's integer. Return score. باقي البرنت يس. لا قلت سويت برنتر.
بس انت قلت ما يسوي برنت، هذا فويد.
البرنت هي void فهي تسوي برنت داخلها. انا عرفتها كده const I define print to be void. So I define a seventh function called print, صح؟ I need to define this print. So I will explain to you Rawat now what I mean with print will print. So print, it's a constant as well. I have to write here a player. So here in the print, I want to print the information of the players, Ahmad, okay? So you write cout, you make cout here, the name.
But it doesn't return the values.
Yes, exactly, that's why it's void. And you write name. Did we call it name? Yes. And then you make, let me make end line. So you print the name. In the same manner, you can print in the same manner you can print the password. I don't know if it makes sense to print the password. Do you think it makes sense?
No. You shouldn't print the password. Well, unless you're an admin. Unless you're an admin.
Yeah, maybe you are admin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rawat. Okay. And then you can, it makes sense to add, to print the score, right?
Yes, the admin.
Yeah, normally even the admin should not see the password.
In some scenarios, admins do have access to see the password if a player doesn't make a report. So they do have access, but they don't open it unless there's an actual report.
No, if you want secure system, the admin should not see the password. He should let the user change the password. If he forget the password, the user can't change it,
Yeah,
and the admin should not know the.
Yeah, but when the user forgets the email that's connected to this account, the admins can actually help them out by changing only the password, or not the support team itself. They can help them by changing only the password.
If they forget the email, how are they gonna reset it? They have no way of confirmation that it's their account.
They don't reset. They don't. ما يسوي reset للباسورد نفسه. الادمن بيساعد.
كيف he resets it online?
يقول لك في الباسورد. It's all in the database.
Anyway, because of the recording,
People have the same password.
the other student will hate you because you make the recording look
Two
now.
people have the same password.
No, I'm saying two people have the same password.
مو مستحيل.
مرة مستحيل.
But this can be. You should consider the worst case. Let us, dear student, the recording is long because of Rawat. He make a lot of unnecessary discussion. You are famous, Rawat, now. Okay, so now we are done with the class. So let's repeat what we did in the class. We did this IOStream string, blah blah blah. We create a class player. We write the variables, and then we write public. We write the functions, and then after that we make semicolon. After that we have to implement each function, 7 functions, the setters. We call this the setters, and these are getters. Yeah. Sometimes we call this mutators, accessors, because mutator they change, accessors they just access the data. And we have also a 7th function called print. We wrote it. Now we are ready to use it. Yeah. For example, I create a player. Now I have a class called a player. So it's like a data type. I create a player x1. Rawad asked me to ask for input, enter the name of the player, and then I set the name to be S. Do you want Rawad to enter the password also? I can ask him to enter the password. I can use the same S actually. Enter the password of the player. Okay. And then I will make set what? Set password to be what? S, what the user enter now. a password, not just a score, set score. Let's say by default I make it 0. I will not ask your user to enter the score, right? I will make score 0. After that, imagine the player is play a game. So in the code, when he win, you can write x1 dot set score. Maybe you write 10, something like this. Anytime you want to change the score, you call set score. Okay? But imagine the user want to log in. You need to ask him for a login and password, and you compare. How to compare? You get name and get password and compare with the values what he wrote in the CN.
Can you use equal to convert?
Yes, in the string you can use. In the Java not, in C++ you can. Okay, so now let me use a print x1.print. So you see, Rawad, now if you call x1.print, it will print for me the information of the players. And imagine one option in your program to show the information of one player. You just call print. Sorry?
If the player wins, the score will be 10.
You can decide what you want. You have set score. You can get the old score and add one to that score, for example. Yeah? So now, when I run the program, it asks me the name of the players, Rawad. Password, what's your password, Rawad?
My password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So now it's print. This is the players of Rawad. The password is this and the score is this. Yeah? The nice thing, from one class, how many copies you can make? Multiple, right? Like you can make a player x2 if you would like to. So let me make x2 dot set name. I can make x2 to represent another player who want to be famous. Mu'taz. He want to be famous. What's your password? If you want to famous, you have to tell me your password. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And x2 dot set score 100, let's say. I can print Mu'taz information as well. So you see, it's like you are getting some, you are playing with x2. You have some operation to change this object. You can change the name, you can change the password, you can change the score, you can get the score, you can print information. This is the new way of dealing with the programs, is like object. So this x1 is called object, x2 is object. I'm dealing with programming as object. That's why it's called object-oriented programming, yeah? So let me write the information of Rawad again. So I run the program.
Yes.
Rawad, no, not here. Rawad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm getting information from Rawad and Mu'taz. This Mu'taz, I get the information, I print the information as well. Okay? So clear how to do class. Simple example for class. Should I close the recording?